Solberg lies 18 points behind Loeb in the championship standings, with Citroen Total's number 2 Mikko Hirvonen just behind in 3rd place, and privateer Mads Osberg currently in a fine 4th. Citroen's stunning 1-2 result in Argentina, meanwhile, has seen them extend their lead over Ford to 45 points. This rally of Greece is again run out of the coastal resort of Loutraki, that's 70 kilometres west of the capital city of Athens, and alongside the famous Corinth Canal. There are 409 kilometres of time stages to come over the 3 days of competition. And as ever, road position could be a big issue this weekend, and the qualifying stage, Julian, it was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. It had been damp in the morning, and then actually for the qualifying stage there was no rain, and drivers electing to take a soft tyre, and it wasn't really the best choice.
Not for all of them, but it turns out it was the best choice for this man, Petter Solberg. Jules, he seems to enjoy these qualifying stages. He takes the win here, 2nd of the year in qualifying.
That's it. Impressive performance by him. Better picking the final position available.
Showers is okay, you know, but it's drying very, very quickly. And I think this was the best thing to do, and you see everybody else is just following after. So,
well, let's take a look then at our start list for day 1. The 2 Mini Portugal drivers are first into action. Mikko Hirvonen is the first of the front runners. He starts 9th on the roads. But with the roads expected to dry out, Jari-Matti Latvala and Petter Solberg will hope for a grippier. First day promises to be one of the toughest of the season. A road section of 100 kilometres to the north will enable a return to some of the classic Acropolis stages, but with 2 remote services and 169 brutal kilometres to survive, you might not be able to win the rally on day 1, but you could certainly lose it. Well, special stage 1 Canetta, that was run on the way back from the ceremonial start in Athens, Jules. An interesting one, this part of the famous Agi Theodori stage.
That's it, and part of it was the stage that they ran last year in the dark on that Saturday evening.
First into the stage, he's getting used to this, isn't he? First on the roads, Paolo Nobri.
That's it, he's getting used to it, and it's going to be a tough ask for him with all the gravel.
Yeah, maybe where he wants to be, though. He's not pushing for speed. He really just wants to get through this event. You can see quite a bit of dust. It is quite late on in the evening, Jules, the stage getting underway, but a problem for Nobri. You could just see the rear right door pinging open there.
That's it, not really sure why, but that's just going to fill the car full of dust.
Do you know, we've seen that before with the Mini. Let's see, certainly plenty of Scandinavian drivers for these fans to support, Jules. And here's one of them, Mads Osberg. Doesn't do so well in qualifying, 6th his best ever place in qualifying, but picks his pace up when the stages start.
That's it, the event didn't start great, or his pre-event test cut short with technical issues, so Mads, privateer, doesn't have the money to go testing all the time, so he needs as much time in the car as possible.
It's quite surprising, his lack of pace in the qualifying, and he suffers for that on day 1, but looking good in this stage.
That's it, he's making light of the disadvantage though at the moment.
Absolutely, another youngster we're really enjoying watching this year, Thierry Neuville in the Citroen, but at this stage, Jules, really difficult. He had the wrong setup for this stage, described it as one of the most difficult he'd ever driven because of that.
That's it, it's only his 6th event in a World Rally Car. We keep forgetting that because there's so much expected of him. But yeah, when the setup's not right, it's not good.
Mikko Hirvonen, meanwhile, doing a great job in the DS3.
Lyhyt vasen täysylynnypy sisältä käännä. 130. Lyhyt oikea täys miinus. Sumppuun. Huomio jarru.
Was so fast through that section. Great to hear. The pace notes being absolutely thrown out there by Jarmo Lehtinen, but Mikko Hirvonen certainly seems to be on one, Jules.
That's it. You can just start to see a line being drilled out there from the cars in front of him. So Mikko not in the prime place, but definitely in a position to take advantage of those road cleaning situations.
1 or 2 moments there for Mikko Hirvonen coming through. It did look a touch ragged, but certainly pushing very, very hard indeed.
At that pace, you're going to have moments. These boys are always having moments.
Look how loose that surface is. It certainly will be cleaning as we get down to our top runners. And 3rd last of our World Rally Cars, it is Sebastian Loeb. Great result for him in Argentina. Not maybe his best rally here, Jules. He only won it twice. Only won it twice, I say.
Yeah, well, that's a rarity for him, only winning it twice. So, but the Frenchman's looking comfortable at the moment. Obviously, top of the championship standings.
That's a feature, isn't it? The bedrock we've got here. You can see that bedrock just in front of Sebastian's car. That is what really chews up those tyres.
Well, that's it, and also it's what does the suspension in as well when they hit them at high speed.
No worries for Sebastian Loeb through this opening stage of the day, though. He really does
You can see the clean line now.
Yeah, you know, there were
and the rocks.
11 cars in front of Loeb, 10 cars in front of Loeb on the road. Yeah, good start from Sebastian Loeb through the propless rally. Now, the returning Jari-Matti Latvala. He told you it felt as if he'd been out the car for 6 months. Buoyed by the performance, though, in qualifying.
Yeah, just impressive performance in qualifying when he's been out the car for a while. And not really giving any care or consideration for that collarbone.
No, it doesn't seem to be bothering him. It really does seem to have healed exceptionally well. When we heard about that accident initially, we thought, oh, he could be out for months and months and months. But here he is, the roughest, toughest rally of the season, and he's back. And he's not wincing at all. He's doing a really great job, not bothering him.
I don't know, sports stars just seem to recover so much quicker than anybody else.
They're a touch fitter than you and I, Julian. That's why they recover so well. Let's see your confidence on Latvala's face there, Julian. But on the start line, the strangest decision in terms of tyres. Peter Solberg, we saw how dusty it was. We saw how dry it was. He's on soft tyres.
Yeah, I don't really know where that decision came from. I'd like to know what weather forecast he was dialed into when that decision came.
Well, it certainly wasn't Lutraki, was it? It was somewhere else. But Peter Solberg, he knows this stage well. I think it was a gamble that could have paid off spectacularly. Look at those clouds. You can see there was the potential for rain, the potential for it to be a bit damp. It didn't happen, and Solberg struggled through the stage. But I tell you what, it's a great time considering his tyres are shot.
I thought it could be quite good. It got colder. It was just a mistake, you know. I should have listened to the team.
Well, Solberg's terrible tyre choice sees him lie in 5th place after stage 1. Up ahead, Peter's teammate Latvala leads on his comeback rally with Loeb 2nd and Hirvonen 3rd, 7.1 seconds behind the top spots. By Nokia, with the sun rising over the Corinth Gulf, it's the start of a new day here. And after just one stage on Thursday night, Jari-Matti Latvala leads Sebastian Loeb by just 2.8 seconds. We're straight into stage 2, Jules, and we're in with Mads Osberg. Well, not the best of stages, this one for Mads. He struggled with the setup of the car, perhaps because of that extra weight that they're all carrying with those remote services. Remind us what happens in a remote service, Jules.
A remote service, you can only change what you carry in the car. So basically, whatever you think you might break, you got to carry.
Well, not great news for Mads Osberg. Meanwhile, back on the start, Thierry Neuville, after a difficult stage 1, launches himself into stage 2.
That's it. Some of these stages will be the toughest, and maybe not the longest he's driven, but definitely the toughest.
Nice and early in the morning. This is a 6 o'clock or so start.
He's going the wrong way.
That is not what he wanted to spin. 1 kilometre into one of the longest days of the year. Not the best start for young Thierry Neuville. Great shot that, Jules, to the coastline, and this is Jari-Matti Latvala. Great start to the rally. He leads after one stage. Absolutely no problems with that shoulder. It's that left shoulder that you can see in that great onboard shot there. Doesn't look bothered at all.
I tell you what, that looked like he was on a road section. How laid back is this man?
Very, very laid back indeed. Good crowds out in the stages today as well. As you can see, looks a little bit cold out there this morning.
He was way wide.
Very wide indeed there. Little cold early start to the morning, but this is Peter Solberg. He had a difficult start with that wrong tyre choice in stage 1. Solberg with a lot to do today.
He has got a lot to do. About 14 seconds gone last night for no reason really, so he's got to push as hard as he can. And this is the downhill descent. This is the difficult bit.
And that is so steep. You don't really get an idea on the onboard there just how steep this is. It's one of the steepest descents, I think, in the World Championship. Mikko Hirvonen now. Decent start for him in stage 1. This is stage 2, remember, the first stage on Friday morning. See how damp it is there, Jules. Maybe the damp weather we had before the start of the rally still showing on some of the stages.
Well, that's it. And obviously the crews have moved on, though, into stage number 3, into Thiva. So that was just a bit light rain in there as well.
It had rained for an hour or so beforehand. Mikko Hirvonen did have 2 softs, and he had them in that X-cross pattern in that difficult stage there, that Thiva stage. Jules, did it work for him? Well, Sebastian Loeb, he went out this morning, 4 hards on the car, just 1 hard in the boot as well, 1 spare tyre. Well, a bit of a gamble for Loeb.
Loeb was going on the weight thing. That's what he was going on. This man was carrying 2 spares. Jari-Matti Latvala.
You really can see how that rain, it was very light rain that we had this morning. You can see how it's affected the surface though, Jules. Well, let's have a look then at the leaderboard. Jari-Matti Latvala still leads after 3. Loeb just behind him. And it's in to special stage 4 then, Ilikonas. It's a one that hasn't been used for a long time, this stage. Let's have a look then as Mikko Harvinen makes his way into stage 4.
Currently in 3rd place as he tackles his 20 kilometres.
Sunglasses on, the sun's out obviously, Jules.
Looking pretty cool, but look at this, there's a lot of mud in here. Oh, hang about.
That's not where he was supposed to go.
No, I tell you what, but look how quickly these guys recover. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They're spotting where they can go.
Was there any danger there? Because there were a lot of trees.
Yeah, but not where he was heading, just when he was coming back out.
Okay, and Jari-Matti Latvala, his compatriot, let's see how he gets on.
So obviously leader of the rally, remember?
Well, Jari-Matti's teammate Petter Solberg suffering with a strange mishandling, a strange handling issue in the car, Jules, this morning.
Yeah, he says it's perfect on left-handers, going right. He said it's just wayward. It's probably the best way.
The car worked very well in the mud there, and so not a bad time. I'm very happy with that. You know, it's yeah, looking forward to get the car, you know, even better in right-hand corners when they're coming into service.
Well, Solberg's sudden surge of speed sees him jump past Hirvonen to claim 3rd spot on the leaderboard, while up front, Latvala's overshoot has allowed Loeb into the lead for the first time. The world champion now 1.2 seconds ahead. Well, intriguing start so far in Greece then, and still 5 more stages to run on this really busy opening leg. It remains dry for now, but as we've already seen, the earlier rain has made grip levels really unpredictable. Evgeny Novikov, Jules, having a good run so far.
That's it. This is probably the one rally he's got the most experience on. His 4th time here, but he's been having a gear shift problem. He's had a few problems. The steering wheel came loose. He had a gear shift problem. He's had a bit of a nightmare.
Hirvonen's got himself back into the battle, Jules. He was slipping behind, but a good run through this one gets him right back in the fight for the lead.
Tosi pitkä vasen eri, Kirraa vähän pyrraa. 7, pikkunyppy vasen laita, jarru 4, oikein hidas, tarkka. 5.
You can see just how beautiful the scenery is up there in the Parnassos Mountains, but up front, Sebastian Loeb leading the rally, looking to build on that in this one.
That's it. There's still some little damp patches though in and around the stage, so all on the hard tyres as well. You can't take a soft, it's too much of a gamble, but the damp patches are what's really catching them out.
Yeah, they're heading up to the top of the mountains now. Jari-Matti Latvala with that problem in the previous stage. Well, in fact, 2 stages ago, giving away the lead, fighting to try and get it back again.
He just can't seem to get the car to work in the damper sections though. Whether they just can't get heat into the tyres.
You could see some standing water around as well earlier on in the stage. But Petter Solberg, well, a very good run through stage 4, put him right back in the battle, Jules. But again, he needs to make the most of it in this stage.
That's it. 10 seconds out of everyone in the previous stage was just incredible. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, that happened, Julian. That was a huge impact for Petter Solberg. It broke a rear wheel, but more importantly, it damaged the underside of the car.
I'm not surprised. He was lucky to keep it on the road.
So here we go then. The incident only cost Petter around 8 seconds, but it was enough to see him drop back behind Hirvonen, while up front, Loeb's lead has been stretched to more than 10 seconds for the first time. Novikov remains in 5th, but it's got Mads Osberg just 5 seconds back. Worried faces.
I'm not surprised you don't, because obviously we've said you can only change what you carry in the car. They had to go back out for another 3 stages.
They did, and in those 3 stages there was plenty of drama out there, Julian, particularly for young Oyt Tanak.
That's it, Oyt Tanak going off. Actually changed the pace note on the stage. It was a second running, changed it on the morning run, and discovered he changed it for the wrong corner and then went off and damaged the rear suspension and parked it up for the day.
It's been a tough year for Oyt Tanak. That's a silly mistake for him. He won't want to repeat that one.
Loeb a little bit wide there, obviously in car with Loeb at this moment. But there was a few dramas in and around. Mads Osberg went off in the final stage for a few minutes, got it going again. Thierry Neuville, transmission problems as Loeb descends down to the final stage finish.
Neuville changing a drive shaft, we believe, on the road section.
Well, he actually removed it. He removed the drive shaft, but it's still a lot of work. Look at that view.
Well, there we go at the end of stage 9. At the end of the day, Sebastian Loeb leads from Jari-Matti Latvala. 6.5 seconds Loeb's leads. Petter Solberg, after a difficult day, in 3rd place. 17.7 seconds off lead. Hirvonen in 4th.
Sebastian, you're wanting to know your time. I don't know what it is, but at the end of day 1, I think you're going to lead Acropolis.
It should be, but it was a lot of dust in this stage. So I've done a few mistakes at the end. Jari-Matti should be faster than me, but okay, I've done quite a good day.
Jari, end of day one in Acropolis. First day back in the saddle after the collarbone. It's been a successful day in the top three, potentially second.
Yeah, it's all right. It's been a, let's say, it's been reasonable good day. There was a midday time I was not doing so well in stage 5 and 6. I was struggling with the damp conditions, but then I started to gain back my driving in the afternoon, so it's been a good fight with Loeb.
So this is how it looks then coming into day 2. Loeb leads Latvala by just 6.5 seconds, with Solberg a further 11.2 adrift. Don't discount Mikko Hirvonen either. He lies 46 seconds off the lead. Evgeny Novikov is in 5th with Martin Prokop, an impressive 6th ahead of Nasser Al-Attiyah, and that late off for Rosberg means he starts day 2 in 8th. Well, round 6 of the WRC, powered by Nokia, is well underway then, and here's what lies in store over this second leg. The stages lie to the south of Rally HQ in Loutraki. 2 loops of 4 mean 8 in total, with a competitive distance of 150 kilometres. And finally, here's how the cars will head into today's stages. Daniel Oliveira leads the pack away, followed by Out Tanak, who returns under the Rally 2 rules. But it's further down that you'll find our rally leaders. Mikko Hirvonen goes 10th, followed by Solberg. Latvala and Loeb head out into the second leg, 12th and 13th on the roads. So while the opening leg proved treacherous, mixture of mud and gravel, more traditional Greek conditions this morning, Julian.
Well, that's it. Dry, dusty, warm. Obviously there was that threat of rain. They were all thinking, and tell you what, Armando Roach has got a tough job cleaning the road, I tell you.
Clear blue skies above the drivers and above the cars this morning. What we expect to see when we come to Greece. You can see the dust there, none of the damp loose surface we saw yesterday.
No problems, but we need save a lot the car. We found a lot of stones, and very strong stones on the stage. So if you pass there, we destroy completely the car. We are trying to escape all these big stones. It's more endurance than sprint, but if you want to arrive in the end, we need to save a lot the car.
Well, clearly, Joe's a more difficult day, a tougher day, a rougher day out there than yesterday. And Martin Prokop, well, he's got a job to do. He's right in a battle with Nasser and Mads.
Well, that's it. And yesterday, Martin's struggling running near the front of the field with getting the car set up on the loose surface. He really struggled.
Evgeny Novikov, decent day for him yesterday. He's got to capitalise on that, try to stay in 5th place today.
Well, the young Russian just goes from strength to strength. He's just getting stronger and stronger. But he had some problems yesterday with the gear shift as well, remember?
See how dusty it is out there as well, Julian. Mikko Hirvonen, well, he put himself into a fight for the lead at one point yesterday, but today all about maintaining that 4th place and perhaps putting pressure on the boys in front.
I think after the puncture, he's just got to make sure that he kind of gets it together and keeps it going. Just look how rough it is, though, here. You can see the line cleaning, so he's in a better road position today, but just look at it. It's a wonder Jarmo can actually read those pace notes bouncing around like that.
Car really bouncing around, as you say, and well, very, very narrow as well as rough up there. You really have to be very careful indeed, as Armando was saying, not a day for pushing perhaps.
But also, I don't know what that was on the road, but also look how narrow it is.
So Mikko Hirvonen into the first stage, and Petter Solberg into the first stage of the morning as well. Julian, a good day yesterday for Solberg considering the problems he had. What's his plan for today?
Well, he's got to kind of avoid unseen rocks. I know it's not very simple, but he's got to do it because he can cost you time, as he saw yesterday. So it's a tough one.
Perhaps Solberg holding position today, Jules. Tough day out there, he knows that. But this man, he is battling for the lead. It's going to be a big day ahead for Jari-Matti Latvala, hunting down Sebastian Loeb.
Yeah, 6.5 seconds behind coming into the day. And I think potentially what Petter's relating to is, let's send this man out and scare Loeb. And what I'll do is I'll pick up the pieces.
I think that's got to be the way to do it for the Ford team. What about the Citroën team, though? They have one aim in mind today, and that is to keep Sebastian Loeb at the head of the field. But he was right on the limit yesterday. He's going to have to be on the limit today to keep that lead.
That's it, but this is probably the coolest guy in the World Championship. I mean, Jari-Matti Latvala, all his pressure. This man just seems to be able to just turn the screw just a little bit tighter when someone starts to come at him.
Absolutely, but it's going to be a battle royale, I'm sure, between Jari-Matti Latvala and Sebastian Loeb. Remember, this stage is the stage where Loeb had one of the biggest accidents of his career a few years ago.
Well, that's it, but Jari's heading towards the end of the stage now.
It's been away for 2 months, Julian, but you'd never know it by the times he's been setting out there.
Well, that's it. He's got this balance, though. He's got to keep it. He's got to get the points, but he's got to pressure Loeb.
Yeah, well, Peter Solberg, very much a cautious approach from him. Latvala doesn't have the... well, he just can't afford to be cautious, because this man here, Sebastian Loeb, will be pushing all the way. Sebastian Loeb, as I said a minute or two ago, Jules, it's a stage where he had a big role a few years ago. Will that be playing on his mind?
No.
Simple
No
as that.
way, no
Simple
way.
as that. All he's thinking about is keeping ahead of Jari-Matti Latvala.
Yeah, psychologically, if he can win this stage and beat the boys he's battling with, that'll make such a difference. That'll kind of like just hit them hard right at the start of the day.
Equally important that Latvala wins this one. Let's see who does come out on top then. Well, surprisingly, that was only Loeb's second stage win of the rally, but it's extended his lead to 7.6 seconds, with Solberg still in touch in third. Hirvonen, though, has continued to slip further adrift in fourth place. 2012 Acropolis Rally of Greece. Sebastian Loeb is the man in charge, but he can't afford to ease off with Jari-Matti Latvala just 7.6 seconds behind. Next up, another two of this event's roughest, toughest stages, Himno and Kefalari. Straight back to the action. It's Mads Osberg. Difficult day for him yesterday. It's all about trying to push on today, Julian.
He's not got a great road position, but all his aim is to try and get back into that top 5. Just watch the crew getting bumped and bounced about here. It's just so rough.
Well, it was a drive shaft problem from Mads yesterday evening, and a drive shaft problem from today as well. But, well, Nasser Al-Attiyah, Joes, knows these stages well. He's competed here in the PWRC in the past, but really his aim this weekend just to get through the stages and get as much experience in a World Rally car as he can.
Well, that's it, and he's actually really getting to grips with this car really, really well. You say bumpy stages, rough stages, that's not a problem to him. Just look at them. I mean, the bedrock on the inside, it's just so tough. And again, this narrow section, it's just horrible.
It is horrible through there, but here's a man who's been coping well with the difficult conditions. Martin Prokop, Julian, in a battle today, as we said, with Nasser and with Mads Osberg.
That's it, and with Evgeny Novikov obviously ahead of him, he's just got to keep it all together. It was very, very tight, those drivers.
Yeah, well, I think there was a problem there, wasn't there, Julian, ultimately? But back with Mikko Hirvonen, and, well, you know, Mikko Hirvonen, can he put any pressure on the guys in front? We've got one stage down, we're into the second stage of the morning now.
He's struggling to match the pace of the Fords and of Loeb ahead of him. When you look at his pace in Argentina to here, it's surprising that he's so far away.
It is a big surprise, and perhaps surprising to Mikko as well, Julian. I think he's been a little perplexed at stage ends as to where that pace has gone.
Yeah, he has. He looked a bit shocked.
Absolutely.
I'm not surprised these boys are flying.
They are flying. Obviously, our front two, Loeb and Latvala, are flying, but this man, Peter Solberg, is also flying. Let's listen to the pace notes from Chris Patterson. A lot of information in those pace notes, Jules.
You've got to have a lot of information. Obviously, another little dip. We saw what that did to him yesterday, hitting one of those. It was just 100% commitment by all of them.
Well, this is the battle at the front. Jari-Matti Latvala absolutely on one. He's chasing down Sebastian Loeb, and, well, he knows just how good Loeb is. But Latvala, full of confidence after some of yesterday's times, Jules.
Well, that's it. 7.6. Yeah, 7.6 between the pair of them coming in. Latvala lost to the Frenchman in the first one. What can he do in this one?
Well, he really needs to take some time back, doesn't he?
And more than what he lost in the first one to kind of like get the upper hand again.
We're back with our rally leader, Sebastian Loeb. Let's see what he can do. Jari-Matti set the time for Loeb to beat.
What we've got at the minute is the ultimate world champion who just can't seem to get beat, and the young charger who's desperate to beat him.
But you know what? This hasn't been one of his best rallies. He's won many rallies, 5, 6, 7 times. He's only won this event twice, so it's not been kind to him.
I'm flat out, so no chance to go fast.
Are you really flat out?
Yeah, really, yeah. Not in the one before. Not in the one before, but in this one, yeah. But as soon as it's slippery, like in this stage, it was the same the first day and the second day. I cannot match the speed of the Ford when it's slippery.
Well, on the road section, Julian, we said that perhaps Novikov had a problem. What happened here?
It's something to do with the water pump, and Evgeny just struggling, trying everything he can to fix it, and he just couldn't do it.
Yep, he retired for the day. Confirmation there then that Loeb's lead hanging by a thread, and with the fight at the front heating up, well, let's move straight on to the 18 kilometres of the Ziria stage. Back again with Nasser, Julian. The stage looking a little wider, a little more open.
That's it. But it's just varying so much, though. It's narrow, as we saw before, and then it's wide. You just got to keep yourself really in tune with what is going on. And that's not how to do it.
No, just a little mistake there. That very often happens in a slow hairpin right, just spinning the car, but that'll have cost him a few seconds.
Well, that's it. It's a loose gravel as well. You run wide and you get into it, and it just drifts you out.
Well, Peter Solberg, he's had a few moments this morning out there. Well, he's had a few moments, really, since the rally started. You can see the damage on the rear left there.
Well, we've seen, Colin, his complete commitment by the lot of them, and bits of bumper and things like that will be sacrificed for every tenth of a second.
You're absolutely right there, Jules. But Peter Solberg, he told us right at the start of the day, today is about holding on to this position. A difficult day to push, difficult day to put pressure on the two boys in front of him.
He's got to do it, though. He's got to do it.
That's what he's paid to do.
That's what he's paid to do, yeah.
Solberg sounding pretty happy with the way things have gone, but back to the front, back to the battle between Loeb and Latvala. A little bit of bodywork, as you say, just hanging from the rear of Latvala's car there, Jules. That's not really an issue.
That's it, but just look at this view. I mean, this guy is probably the fastest rally driver on any given bit of road. He's probably the most unluckiest as well.
I think he's got to show his pace from now on, though, hasn't he? He really does have to show us that he can put pressure on Sebastian Loeb and beat Sebastian Loeb.
He's got to. That's it, but that ain't easy. As you said, 8-time world champion, 72 odd victories. How do you rattle this man?
No, he doesn't get rattled. The only way to rattle him is to get in front of him, I suppose.
Just look at the speed down here. Obviously his lead down to 1 second. Can he respond?
To say, we're still looking a little bit damp there, but clearly it is drying out. Very stony, very dusty, and clear skies above. Well, Sebastian Loeb then, his lead down to 2.2 seconds after stage 13. Solberg drops a little further back, 20.1 seconds off the lead.
Getting a puncture and having to stop and change it and dropping over 2 minutes.
And he was out of the battle for the lead. So the lead now going into stage 15 and 16, still held by Sebastian Loeb, but Peter Solberg chasing him down. Now, this is Andreas Mikkelsen at the side of the road, Julian. He's had a good weekend so far, battling with Sebastian Ogier, his teammate. That's not the way he wanted things to go this afternoon, though.
No, that's it. Looks like it's overheating, water going into it, so it's not what he wanted.
And conditions changing this afternoon. This morning, beautiful blue skies. This afternoon, mud, rain, difficult conditions, but different conditions.
As the drivers were saying, this was slippier than Monte Carlo on the snow with slicks. I mean, that's just incredible.
Just look at how these conditions have changed from the first pass. This morning, dust and rocks. This afternoon, thick, clinging mud and standing water.
It took Loeb 1 minute and 40 seconds longer to get through the stage, second time with the mud.
Well, that just shows you, as you can see, standing water, a lot of mud, dark skies above. Mikko Hirvonen now up to third place with the problems for Jari-Matti Latvala.
That's it, but still concerned about, I think about the pace more than anything. Position's great, but pace is not there. And that's Mikko just running wide again. They were all saying is it didn't matter what speed you're doing, you just run wide.
You thought you were going slowly, but it wasn't slow enough. So Mikko Hirvonen just gingerly just making his way through this really tricky section. You don't want to make a mistake here because, as you can see, there's some big rocks just off the stage. Well, Hirvonen is in third place at the end of the day. I have to say, he sounded a bit subdued there, Julian, but he's got to be pleased to be in third.
Yeah, he has, but this man is on a bit of a mission in the final two stages. He is clawing his teammates out of the game now. This man is the man charged with catching Loeb.
And after the disaster in Argentina for Ford, it is so important that Solberg puts pressure on Loeb and does his best to take the win here for Ford.
I know, but it's like a double-edged sword, though. What do? You need the points, but he needs to win.
At the point that Latvala had his problems, Peter Solberg was 15 seconds behind Sebastian Loeb. He's got to reduce that through the last few stages of the day.
He has. He's got to take everything he can. He's got to put pressure on Loeb. It's no point giving him a big lead, because if he has too much, he'll be able to just cruise through tomorrow.
A long time since Peter Solberg won a rally, but he will relish being in this fight with Sebastian Loeb. Might be greedy, Julian, but you're a bit cheeky with that question there.
Yeah, I know, but you're battling this guy here, you know what I mean? You have to take a lot of time out of him in here, but let's just see. Even Loeb, the master, just running, not quite as wide, but clipping the bank there. I tell you what, it was just something else this afternoon. The excitement of Petter clawing his way back.
And he is right back in it. Okay, it's 10 seconds, the difference between him and Sebastian Loeb, but he's right back in it now.
This man can't back off. He can't back off. And he was trying as hard as he could in the mud. Not really in his comfort zone, because he thought once Latvala had stopped, that was it.
No, it very much is game on now. Sebastian Loeb knows that. You know, if you looked at these pictures, though, Julian, you'd never guess that was Greece, looking at those conditions.
Just look at it. He's just drifting wide all over the place. But yeah, look how dark the road is. I mean, no, that's just dust trails.
So Sebastian Loeb, he had a morning battling Jari-Matti Latvala. He's had an afternoon in the rain, in the mud, battling Peter Solberg, but he is still out front at the end of the day.
Sebastian, the time's on the board there, 33.2 and a 10.213 for Peter. The game is really on now for tomorrow.
Yeah, but Peter's time is 29, it's not 21, so it's a mistake in his time. But still, he was very fast. He's again 3 or 4 seconds faster than me in the stage. So it will be a fight tomorrow.
Do you think you can hold on to it?
We have to. Today we didn't have, so we are not so lucky. We took the rain in the 2 stages before. This one we had also heavy rain at the start, so I don't know how well his condition, but we'll see tomorrow.
Are you ready for a fight?
Yeah, sure.
Well, there we have it. Confirmation. Sebastian Loeb leads the Acropolis Rally at the end of day 2. His lead over Peter Solberg, 10.2 seconds. Hervnen way back in third. Well, we have 5 stages ahead to decide the outcome of this challenging event. It's an identical route to the previous season, out to the east of Rally HQ Lattraki, with 2 stages repeated once, followed by the end of day Rally Power Stage, where bonus points are on offer for the top 3 finishers. And this is how the crews line up for the final day. Brazilian drivers Paulo Nobre and Daniel Oliveira are first into the stages. But the main interest lies further back, with the drivers fighting for victory, Solberg and Loeb starting 12th and 13th on the road. So it's into the first stage of the morning, stage 18, Agi Theodori. Jules, a legendary stage, this one the drivers really enjoy. Nasser Al-Attiyah, he's first up.
That's it. It's a rough stage, and also the last 6Ks of this were the qualifying stage, so it's a real difficult stage and very, very rough.
Day from yesterday, we saw the rain at the end of yesterday. A nice dry day today.
That's it. Little water splash here.
But Nasser with big problems there, Jules.
That's it. It seemed to get a big compression as he came through the water splash.
That's a huge impact. You can see Giovanni in the co-driver's seat very wide about that one. Let's watch it again. Ooh.
Right up on the nose.
Suddenly, you know, we have a big kick, and the car this was in the nose, and after we crash and we lose the water from the engine, but yeah, game over. But we try do good time in the stage.
Well, very much game over for Nasser Al-Attiyah. He is out of the Acropolis Rally. But Andreas Mikkelsen, another one to have problems in the first stage, Jules.
I said a misheard pace note by Andreas there, and he wasn't sure which it was, but it wasn't going any further. Look at that.
Yeah, that's very much game over, really, for Andreas Mikkelsen. These guys making repairs, but that unrepairable. Mads Osberg, though, Jules, what a good event he's been having. Steady, not the best of pace, but a good steady event for him.
Well, it has been. He's had a fair few problems when you think about it, and another one just there. Very, very lucky. A little bit of a spin. Struggling with his brakes in here, but the position is great for a Mads.
Absolutely, but Jari-Matti Latvala, well, what more can he do? Not an awful lot. In third place after that problem yesterday.
Yeah, he's absolutely gutted with that problem. I mean, I don't really know what he has to do to get a break at the moment, but he's blindingly fast. He just needs to keep it together.
He could fall off his skis and get a break in his shoulder.
Yeah, he's already had that one. That's put him out for 2 months, remember?
But Latvala trying to stay focused today, trying to stay on the pace, absolutely desperate to hold on to that third place. And Mikko Hervnen, well, he inherited second place, and he's very comfortable in second place, but he'll be looking to find some pace today, Julian. Really a long way off the pace during the course of the first 2 days. And my goodness, look at those crowds.
There's so many people there. It's great for the sport to see so many people out supporting these drivers. But as you said, Colin, Mikko's pace has been a little bit bizarre. He was really on it in Argentina, and now this weekend he just doesn't seem to be there.
It's just not there at all, over 2 minutes behind the lead, but doing what he has to do, holding on to that second place, securing driver's points for himself and manufacturer's points for Citroën if he can keep it all together today. But back to the start, this is the battle we've been watching today, Julian. It's the battle between this man, Peder Solberg, and Sebastian Loeb. 10.2 seconds in it. Big ask for Peder Solberg.
It's a huge ask, but he's got to give it a go at the start, in my opinion. Maybe give it a couple of stages and see what happens.
Well, I think as we're going to find out, he didn't get a couple of stages, did he? Didn't get too far into this first one.
No, it's so quick, it's so committed, and it's very easy for it to all go wrong.
Well, Solberg's still in the stage, back on the start line though, Sebastian Loeb. He's been in this position before, leading the rally many times at the start of day 3. He knows how to deal with the pressure of having a driver behind him, chasing him down.
Well, that's it. It's all Loeb just seems to be able to manage everything so well. Tyres, a rally, the whole lot. It's just a complete package. He lets them come at him when he's not happy. He lets them just take the time. Then he just decides to snatch it back in the next one.
How wide this road is as well, Jules.
Also the cleaning line there as well, which is why the road positions are reversed nowadays.
Makes it so much easier, not that he needs any help. Back to Peder Solberg now. He was pushing, we know he was pushing, Jules, but it does go wrong for him.
Narrow section here, let's just listen and watch. Just a little bit wide there, and just clip the one bank, put him into the other.
And he's taken a wheel off, and that is game over for Peder Solberg. That's a huge personal disappointment. It's a huge disappointment for Ford as well.
That's it. It lets this man off the hook if he was ever on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Sebastian Loeb, he never makes those kind of mistakes. He rarely makes those kind of mistakes. Now, there is Solberg on the right-hand side. At this point now, Sebastian Loeb knows, I've got this in hand.
I mean, that's
and
it.
He's got his head in his hands. Desperate disappointment.
That's it. I mean, Loeb now.
Flat out since the first stage until this one, and now it's completely different. But yeah, at the moment we've done a perfect race, pushing very hard, avoiding the mistakes.
So much passion for what I'm doing, and I want to win. And then I hit the bank, and I hit the other side, and I took the wheel off, and I feel really bad. I feel sorry for all the 4 guys, and you know, working hard, but people have to understand, yeah, we want to win.
Well, with Solberg out, Loeb's lead stands at just under 2 minutes, and suddenly his Citroën team are once again on course for a second consecutive 1-2 finish, with Hirvonen up to second, while Latvala moves into the final podium spot. Well, what a turnaround for the French team. They could be on for another formation finish, but don't forget, this is the Acropolis Rally, and the Citroën boys can't relax just yet, but you guys can. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Acropolis Rally, where the brutal Greek roads have wrecked both works Ford's hopes of victory. Instead, once again, Sebastian Loeb has been left way out in front and in control. Well, it's on to stage 19, New Pizia. And Jules, this man, Martin Prokop, he is having a great run of form just now, and he has a great Acropolis Rally.
That's it. I mean, this is going to be his 3rd top 5 finish in a row. I mean, I wouldn't have expected that.
Absolutely. Mads Osberg struggled a little bit this weekend, certainly on the Friday with the balance of the car. But as we expect from Osberg now, keeping it all together, not really making any big mistakes.
Well, gone is the Mads Osberg. He's now a lot more consistent. Maybe not so happy with his pace, but the results are good.
And here's Jari-Matti Latvala. You have to say a good return to the WRC for him after that skiing incident where he damaged his shoulder. Big disappointments, though, yesterday for him.
That's it, with this puncture here yesterday. Just such a disappointment. You watch the pace and the speed here. What you've got to remember is he's been out for 2 months as well.
his compatriot Mikko Hirvonen. Well, so far a tough weekend for him, but he has to keep it together. He's up to second place now, a long way behind Sebastian Loeb, and Mikko Hirvonen has got a good gap between himself and Jari-Matti Latvala, but I don't know, he really does need to find a little more pace, Jules.
That's it. I mean, you watch him, and when you watch it, it looks absolutely flat out. And then you see the stage time at the end, and you're amazing that he's not the quickest.
But this man certainly is the quickest. Sebastian Loeb, well, he's only got, what, 3 more stages to go to take the victory here, Jules. Nothing can really go wrong for him, can it?
No. I mean, he's as I touched on earlier, he just manages everything brilliantly. When it's not great, he just backs off. But just watch the concentration on him.
Well, no change in position then after stage 19. Loeb's lead stands at just over 2 minutes from his teammate Hirvonen, with Latvala now on course for a consolation podium finish. Well, it's been a disastrous morning for the Ford team. Latvala, their only remaining car following Solberg's exit. While over at Citroën, Sebastian Loeb and Mikko Hirvonen are under no pressure at all.
For sure, we are in a good position now. We can take it easy in the stages, so hopefully it will be okay.
How are the stages?
The stages are good. It was some nice stages today, so no problem.
I haven't really been in the pace I wanted to, but then I took it a bit steady, and surprisingly we are now in second place. So okay, if we can finish it like this, it would be really good for Citroën. It's a big lead for Seb, and I'm safely in second place, so I'm sure I can finish in this position if everything works.
I started first stage very well, no problems, good feeling to drive. Then when Petter retired, then I started to back off a bit and try to make sure that I just get to the finish.
Well, Hirvonen on his way out of the Lufttracke service park for the last time then, while the Citroën mechanics give the rally leaders DS3 one final check over before the last push. Back out to stage 20 and 21 then, Julian. Young Thierry Neuville had a few issues this weekend, but doing a good job.
That's it, some transmission problems, but it's the first rally he's going to complete this year without the Rally 2 rules, and that's progress. He is quick, and we know it. He just needs to string it all together.
And on his first visit to the Acropolis, that's exactly what he wanted to do. Up front, Mikko Hirvonen off the line. Yeah, what more can we say about Hirvonen? He is neat, he is tidy. Not quite the pace this weekend, but totally reliable.
That's what he was employed to do by Citroën. Bring it home every weekend. That's what he's done. It's just incredible. He is there all the time.
He really is. He's one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent driver in the championship.
The roads are pretty smooth here, but there's some big ruts, though. And look at the clean line, which is obviously what they wanted to try and get into.
And back to our rally leader, Joe Sebastian Loeb, heading into the last 2 stages before the power stage. Really nothing to concern him, but maybe there is. Let's watch this.
That's it, Loeb picking up a puncture. Only 3 Ks in, very, very quickly deciding, okay, I've got to stop and change this. The roads are too rough. He changed it, minute and 40-odd seconds lost, back on the road. It gave us some excitement, though.
It certainly did give us some excitement, but here we go. Let's hear from Mikko Hirvonen.
Well, I was just saving my tyres through the whole stage, so I wanted to make sure I have a good tire for the power stage. And, that's all I did.
Well, Mikko not getting too excited just there. The huge gap between himself and Sebastian Loeb really before this stage, giving Sebastian Loeb the opportunity to change that tyre and get back on it again and still hold on to the lead.
Had a puncture. I don't know where. Around the rear left. After 3 kilometers, I said to Daniel, puncture. And yeah. So we decided to change immediately the wheel because after 17 kilometers, I don't know exactly how long it's the stage. It's impossible to finish in Acropolis without to break anything. So I changed immediately and I pushed after.
He uses his head, doesn't he, Julian Sebastian Loeb? No second thoughts. He wasn't going to drag that car through the stage and risk the damage. Stopping, changing it. Cool as you like.
That's it. Could be so frustrating for this man. They all have problems. When Loeb has it, it's when there's no pressure on.
Well, you could say the same thing for Peter Solberg. He'll also be incredibly frustrated. But don't forget, Solberg made that mistake on Thursday night with the tyre choice, and that cost him probably 14 seconds to Loeb. But very frustrating for both the Ford drivers this weekend.
Fortunately for them, Latvala currently in third place.
And that's a good return for him after time out the car.
That's it. He hasn't been on the podium, I think, since Sweden.
Long time ago for Jari-Matti Latvala, but looking good on the final day here. After all that, Sebastian Loeb's lead over Mikko Hirvonen falls to 38.7 seconds with just one stage remaining. Meanwhile, Jari-Matti is in a comfortable third, but once again, Ford will be reeling at their misfortune this weekend. And Jules, Rally Acropolis, this is a round of the PWRC, and this is the British lady driver, Louise Cook.
Basically for us, this year's about experience, so I'm trying to get around all the stages, and you know, being parked up in service and super rallies is no good for me, so I'm taking it easy, learning a lot with pace notes, but you know, we're going steady, and I'm just trying not to hit any big rocks, and my eyes are on stalks.
Well, good to see Louise in the PWRC this year, but Jules, on to the final stage of the rally, stage 22, it's the power stage.
That's it. Latvala currently on the podium, but I tell you what, he desperately needs those 3 points for winning this stage. And I tell you what, all of them won them, but Jari-Matti on a massive push.
He's got to salvage something, hasn't he, after the problems yesterday, after the problems that Ford have had all weekend, and he really does want to take the maximum 3 points here in the power stage. You can see his windscreen wipers on there, a little bit of rain.
It's at least we are on the podium after a long time, which is really good. It's a big thing for me to be on the podium first of all. But also, I have learning a bit about the fighting with the Loeb. I need to be a little bit more clever in the future.
Well, all in all, a good comeback for Jari-Matti Latvala. But here we go, Mikko Hirvonen and Sebastian Loeb, two drivers still to come. Hirvonen heading into the power stage in second place.
And under strict orders to just keep it steady and make sure you get there, that is for sure. As you say, just a small, and it was a small amount of rain, nothing to worry about. The dust, it didn't dampen it down.
Nothing to worry about in particular for this man, Sebastian Loeb, heading towards victory number 71, his third victory here in Greece. He has been imperious this weekend.
He never ceases to amaze me, this guy. He never tires of winning. After all the championships, all the wins, he's absolutely phenomenal.
And he never breaks under pressure.
Not when and his rivals do, don't they? That's it, it's over.
Remarkable performance for Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena. A confirmation there that Loeb takes 3 bonus points to add to the 25 he scores for the overall win. Latvala and Hirvonen taking extra points for finishing in the top 3.
Sebastian, end of Rally Acropolis. I don't think I've seen you celebrate a victory so much. I mean, that's been some win.
But it has been so long and so difficult that it was incredible. We had also a puncture in the morning, so we had to fight really hard since the start, and to make all the points with the power stage 2 is really good.
I mean, you've absorbed all the pressure from everybody. Petter, Jari-Matti, they've all fallen off the road, they've had problems. How do you keep doing this?
Try to keep my rhythm, not to do 110%, just to do what I feel, and keep the car on the road, try to manage a bit the tires and the car when it's too rough. I think the others have done a really good rally also. You can say that Jari-Matti and Petter were really fast, but sometimes it can happen for sure.
Well, 2 wins in a row for Loeb then, and also consecutive 1-2 results for Citroën. Hirvonen finishing exactly 40 seconds behind his teammate, while Latvala claims his first podium finish since February. Elsewhere, strong results again for Osberg and Martin Prokop. And it's been yet another imperious display from the world champion, though, and he's soon welcomed back to the service by his delighted Citroën team.
It's a great victory, especially after the battle we had with the 2 Fords. It was really difficult. We had to fight on the limit all the time, and a puncture today in the morning, then also the power stage, so that's really a great result for the team with Mikko second is incredible.
A little bit different than Argentina, a big battle all the weekend, and that's very nice, very important. But at the end, the same result, and I will say thanks to the team. We did a big job on the car to be able to do a rally like that. On the tempo was very high and without any problem on the car.
Well, Loeb's maximum score and Petter's first blank of the season has seen Seb pull out a huge lead in the championship. It's also now a Citroen 1-2 in the title race. Hirvonen is 30 points behind his teammate, with Solberg slipping to 4th. And it's been a crushing blow for Ford in the manufacturer standings in Greece. The gap to Citroen now extended to 73 points. Well, Loeb and Daniel Elena claim their 3rd win on the Acropolis Rally, the toughest event of them all. Alongside the Casino Loutraki Resort, the celebrations have already begun. A very different event awaits the WRC crews for round 7 as we travel to the opposite side of the planet for the flowing cambered roads of Rally New Zealand. The pressure on Ford to fight back in the land of the long white cloud is intense. They can take hope from the pace shown by both their drivers through a bruising Acropolis Rally. Make sure you join us in a month's time to witness the Blue Oval response.